On the night of her death, Jayne Mansfield had completed a series of live performances at the Gus Stevens Supper Club in Biloxi, Mississippi. After her last show, she and her boyfriend Sam Brody and 3 of her children, Mickey, Zoltan, and Mariska, were to travel to New Orleans, where Jayne was to do a television appearance the next day. Gus Stevens had his daughter's fiancé, 20-year-old Ronald Harrison, drive the group. The car, a 1966 gray Buick Electra, was purchased by Gus Stevens in January of 1966 for $5,760.74. At 12:45 a.m., the group left Biloxi for New Orleans. On Thursday, June 29, 1967, at 2:25 a.m., an accident occurred on U.S. Highway 90. Contrary to popular rumor, the road they were traveling on, Highway 90, was completely clear. There was an insecticide truck in the vicinity, but it was absolutely not spraying insecticide. There was no fog on the road. It did have a flashing red light. A driver of a semi-truck ahead of the Mansfield car saw the flashing light and slowed to about 35 miles an hour. More than likely, Ronald Harrison was distracted by the red light flashing in the distance and failed to see the semi-truck around the long curve in front of them. Without touching the brakes, the car drove under the semi, killing the 3 in the front seat immediately. The 3 children in the back escaped with remarkably few injuries. Jayne was pronounced dead at 4:07 a.m. of a crushed skull and an avulsion of the cranium and brain. She was not decapitated. That rumor began almost immediately. She was scalped. What you are about to see is an extremely rare look inside the car that killed the 3. The car has gone through 6 owners since Gus Stevens. It landed into our possession a few years ago and was on display at the dearly departed museum until March of 2020. When we closed, the car was put into storage where it's lovingly looked after and will be on display at some other time in the future. Below this video is a link to PayPal and Patreon where you can support this page. It's very much appreciated. My newest supporters, Casey Conley, Molly Brislin, Kathy Williams, Terry Straw, Gary Strout, Kirk DiBernardi, Kerry Wade, Elizabeth Engman, and Melissa Anderson. Thank you so much for supporting the page. Please like it, please subscribe, leave a comment. I appreciate your time and your attention. Thank you.
You heard me.